recording. All right. Celine, are we confirmed we're live on YouTube?
Yes, we're live.
All right, we're going to start recording. And Eric, we're on.
Great. Regular scheduled HEDC meeting. We had a proper notice given, and we do have a quorum today. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. Shall we start with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, sir. Everybody's here.
All right, let's start. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United
States of America,
States, to the republic which stands
one
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, folks. What do we have for recognitions, Riddell?
I guess we can talk about the Community Economic Development Award from Texas Economic Development Council. You know, you all approved back in, I guess it was early April or right after the pandemic started, a program called Help for Small Business, Harlingen Emergency Loan Program. And Celine did a good job of putting an application in for an award with Texas Economic Development Council. We didn't get the big award, which is basically for the population size that we're in, but we got one of the other awards, which basically is amongst all the submittals. They felt that the program that we submitted, the application we submitted, was more transferable to other communities. And so we got the Transferability Award from TEDC for Community Economic Development Award. So that's a pretty cool deal.
Congratulations.
That's
Well,
exciting.
congratulations to y'all. Because of y'all.
Congratulations. That's a great recognition. Very, very good.
Thank you. So that's really it for the recognition. There are no public comments, and all board members are here along with the ex officio, Dan, and the mayor. So we can go on to the first item.
All right, consider approval of quarterly report to be presented by to the City Commission.
All right. As I share our screen, the quarterly report is in your packet, and it's fairly extensive, but I just want to talk about it a little bit. It's something that in our bylaws we're supposed to be doing on a quarterly basis, and I apologize for not doing that on a quarterly basis. But it is something that is supposed to be turned into the City Commission routinely, and I know we did it last year, so we wanted to get back into it. So that's what we've done. And I hope that y'all had time to go through it, but the first section talks about financials, and so we included in the financial section just kind of a profit and loss for the first 3 months, for the third quarter months, which is April, May, and June. And then a little discussion on some of the challenges that are anticipated in the short term and then in the long term. And these are just kind of themes that we're working through. And so on page 4, number 3 talks about the short-term challenges, and that's one of them is filling in one additional staff person. And then really the biggest challenge is obviously having to deal with the impacts from the pandemic and the continuing crisis that people are going through. And also with the national elections, every time that there's a presidential election, businesses tend to not take action. So a lot of times some of the projects are put on hold until after a decision is made as to, you know, who's going to be in the White House. And so those are the two things that short term we're looking at. And then long-term issues, things that we work on continuously include workforce development, transportation issues, our lack of industrial buildings that are of large size so that we can chase after some of the bigger projects, and lack of large commercial office space, which are all being addressed, by the way. But those are some of the long-term issues that are addressed in this report. The financials, I'm not going to go through them specifically because you guys actually approve the financials every month. But there's a quick summary there, and then the June balance sheet and financial statements are there as well. And we're doing fairly well. We've gone through all of this stuff during our last budget cycle. There's also a list that the finance department has kept of the people that are actually receiving the Harlingen Emergency Loan Program awards. And then section 2 is basically a review of the program of work and what we've done. And it's fairly extensive. So I hope that you all did have a chance to read through it. Both you and the City Commission will have had at least several days with it in front of you. And we're basically just talking about what we've been doing in each of those categories. And obviously this is based on last year's program of work, or this current year. For the next fiscal year, we've got a program of work that is going to be approved by the City Commission tomorrow, hopefully, that you all have already approved. And so for the next few quarters, we'll start seeing this and seeing our progress in the program of work. So on the left-hand side, you have what is actually the program of work. And on the right-hand side in the lighter blue color is actually what's been done in terms of those specific items. So if there's no questions on that, or if there are questions, I'll be glad to address them at this time. So the item is to approve the quarterly report that's going to be presented to the City Commission.
If there's no further discussion, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Say aye.
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 All against? Same sign. Motion carries.
All right, item 2 is executive session. I will go ahead and read that for you, Eric.
Okay, thank you.
Executive session pursuant to Chapter 551, Subchapter D, VTCA Government Code Section 51.072 regarding the purchase, lease, or value of real estate if the deliberation in an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the Development Corporation of Harlingen, Inc. in negotiations with a third person regarding some of the following projects and/or contemplated or pending litigation, or matters where legal advice is requested of the attorney on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the board under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Act. Section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meetings Act and/or executive session pursuant to Chapter 551, Subchapter D, VTCA Government Code Section 551.087 regarding commercial and financial information from business prospects with which the board is conducting economic development negotiations and/or to discuss or deliberate financial or other incentives relating to the following projects: A, Project LC3, B, Project Spec 1, C, Project Spec 2, D, Project Replace, E, Fox Valley Molding.
All right, so are we in executive session?
You would need a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
There we go. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Executive session.
All right, let me pause recording.